Who are we? This question, simple yet profound, echoes through the ages. It whispers in our quiet moments of reflection. It resounds in our grandest artistic and scientific endeavors. We are creatures of immense complexity, capable of extraordinary thought and deep emotion. We build, we create, we explore, and we question. From the smallest child looking at their reflection for the first time, to the most learned scholar contemplating the universe, this fundamental query drives us. It is a puzzle woven into the very fabric of our being, a mystery that invites us to look deeper into ourselves and our origins on this remarkable planet we call home. Why do we possess this unique ability to think, to dream, to innovate? Consider the marvel of human consciousness. It allows us to paint masterpieces, to compose symphonies that can move us to tears. It empowers us to design intricate technologies that connect the world. We can ponder the past, analyze the present, and imagine countless futures. This capacity for abstract thought, for self-awareness, sets us apart in the animal kingdom. But where did this incredible spark originate? Was it a sudden gift, or the result of a long, gradual unfolding through the mists of time? The journey to understand this is a journey into the heart of what it means to be human. Think about the sheer diversity of human expression. We communicate through intricate languages, capable of conveying subtle nuances and complex ideas. We establish societies with elaborate rules, customs, and traditions. We tell stories, passing down knowledge and wisdom from one generation to the next. This rich tapestry of culture, of shared learning and collective memory is a hallmark of our species. It allows us to adapt, to thrive in almost every environment on Earth, from frozen tundras to scorching deserts. Yet this intricate web of behavior and intellect begs the question of its ultimate source, its foundational story. The quest to understand ourselves is perhaps the greatest adventure of all. It is a journey that takes us to the far reaches of the globe and deep into the microscopic world of our own cells. It involves piecing together clues from ancient bones, deciphering the language of our genes, and observing the fascinating behaviors of our closest living relatives. This exploration is not just an academic exercise, it touches upon our deepest sense of identity and our place within the grand sweep of life on Earth. So let us embark on this investigation together, to unravel the threads of our ancient past, and to perhaps find a clearer reflection of who we are today. Deep within the emerald embrace of ancient forests, creatures swing through the canopy with breathtaking agility. Monkeys and apes, our primate cousins, exhibit intelligence, complex social structures, and a remarkable adaptability to their world. We see in them a flicker of something familiar, a distant echo of ourselves. For centuries, keen observers of nature have noted these resemblances. This has led to one of the most persistent and sometimes contentious questions about our own story. Did humans truly descend from a creature that once lived, much like them, deep within the forest's verdant depths? This question challenges us to look beyond our immediate experience and consider a much longer, more intricate history. The idea that humans might be connected to the primate family tree is not a recent fancy. Long before the advent of modern science, thinkers and naturalists pondered the similarities in form and behavior. However, it was in the 19th century that this notion began to take on a more structured scientific form. The suggestion that our lineage could be traced back to an ancestor shared with these forest dwellers was, and for some remains, a startling proposition. It asks us to reconsider our perceived uniqueness, to place ourselves firmly within the broader web of life, rather than entirely separate from it. The image of a monkey is often, and mistakenly, conjured as our direct forebear, leading to much confusion. Today we are poised to explore this very question. Did humans really evolve from primates? This is not a query to be answered with a simple yes or no, for the reality is far more nuanced and fascinating. It's a question that often evokes strong emotions and touches upon deeply held beliefs about our place in the universe. Our aim here is not to dismiss any viewpoint, but to embark on a journey of discovery, guided by the evidence that science has painstakingly gathered over decades of research. We will delve into what it truly means to speak of an evolutionary relationship and how that differs from the popular yet incorrect idea of humans descending from the monkeys we see today. Understanding this connection is crucial to understanding ourselves. It doesn't diminish our humanity, rather it enriches our story, revealing an epic tale of survival, adaptation, and transformation spanning millions of years. It highlights our deep interconnectedness with the natural world, a world that has shaped us in profound ways. By carefully examining the evidence, by listening to what the fossils, the genes, and our own bodies tell us, we can begin to piece together the complex puzzle of our origins. Let us approach this question with open minds and a spirit of inquiry, ready to uncover the truth about our ancient family ties. To answer the profound question of our origins, we must embark on a journey. This is not a journey across continents in the present day, but a voyage back through the immense corridors of deep time. Imagine peeling back the layers of Earth's history like pages in an ancient, colossal book. Within these layers lie the clues, the fossilized remains of creatures that walked this planet long before us. These bones, teeth, and footprints are the tangible evidence of our distant past, silent witnesses to the unfolding drama of life. They offer us glimpses of our ancestors, showing us how they lived, how they changed, and how they eventually gave rise to the species we are today. Our exploration will first lead us to these ancient storytellers, the fossils. We will encounter remarkable discoveries such as Lucy, an Australopithecus afarensis who lived over 3 million years ago, her skeleton revealing crucial steps towards upright walking. We will meet Homo habilis, the handyman, one of the earliest known users of stone tools, a significant leap in cognitive ability. Then there is Homo erectus, the upright wanderer who mastered fire and ventured out of Africa. And of course, we will examine the Neanderthals, our closest extinct relatives, and the rise of our own species, Homo sapiens. Each fossil is a precious fragment helping us reconstruct the intricate branches of our family tree. But our journey does not end with bones. In the modern era, a new window into the past has opened, the study of genetics. Deep within each of our cells lies DNA, the blueprint of life. This intricate code carries the history of our ancestors, a molecular record passed down through countless generations. By comparing our DNA with that of other primates, particularly chimpanzees and bonobos, scientists have uncovered astonishing similarities. We share an overwhelming percentage of our genetic makeup with these creatures, a clear indication of a shared heritage. These tiny differences in our genetic code, however, are responsible for the vast distinctions that make us uniquely human. Beyond fossils and genes, our own bodies tell a story. The structure of our hands, with their nimble fingers and opposable thumbs, speaks of an ancestry that once gripped branches. Our forward-facing eyes, granting us binocular vision, are a primate trait essential for judging distances in a three-dimensional world. Even the way we walk upright, a hallmark of humanity, has its roots in anatomical shifts that began millions of years ago in our primate forebears. We will also look at behavior, observing how tool use, learning, and social interaction in other primates can shed light on the foundations from which our own complex abilities arose. This multifaceted approach will guide our quest for understanding. As we stand at the precipice of this exploration, it is important to understand that the question, "Did humans really evolve from primates?" invites more than a straightforward affirmation or denial. The true journey lies in understanding the how and the what does it mean. The narrative of human evolution is not a simple linear progression from a monkey to a modern human, as often caricatured. Instead, it is a rich and branching tapestry, woven with threads of common ancestry, divergence, adaptation, and the emergence of unique traits that define our species. It is a story of shared beginnings, but also one of extraordinary distinction. This essay will guide you through the scientific consensus, presenting the evidence that has led to our current understanding of human origins. We will navigate the complexities of evolutionary theory, clarifying common misconceptions along the way. For instance, the crucial concept that humans did not evolve from modern monkeys, but rather share a common ancestor with them, an ancestor that lived millions of years in the past and was neither a modern human nor a modern monkey. This distinction is fundamental to grasping the true nature of our evolutionary path. and it helps to dispel much of the confusion that surrounds this topic. However, our exploration will not be confined solely to the biological realm. The story of what makes us human extends far beyond our physical form and genetic makeup. We will delve into the remarkable attributes that set Homo sapiens apart, our capacity for complex language, allowing for abstract thought and symbolic communication on an unprecedented scale. We will consider the enigma of self-awareness, our ability to reflect on our own existence, our mortality, and to develop ethical frameworks. And we will marvel at the explosion of human culture and technology, a journey from the first stone tools to the ability to explore distant planets. Ultimately, this exploration aims to provide a comprehensive, accessible, and engaging account of one of life's greatest mysteries. We will consider different perspectives, acknowledging that the scientific understanding of evolution can intersect with philosophical and even religious thought in various ways. Our goal is to foster a deeper appreciation for the immense journey of life on Earth and our own species' incredible story within it. Prepare to have your curiosity sparked, your understanding broadened, and perhaps to see yourself and your place in the universe in a new and more profound light as we unravel the truth about human origins. Our journey into the heart of evolution begins with a name: Charles Darwin. He was a man of immense curiosity, born in England in the early 19th century. This was a time when the prevailing view was that species were fixed, created as they were, unchanging through time. Darwin, however, possessed a mind that questioned. He had a deep passion for the natural world from a young age. This love of nature set him on a path that would eventually reshape our understanding of life itself. His observations were about to challenge everything. In 1831, a young Darwin embarked on a momentous voyage. He sailed as the naturalist aboard HMS Beagle. This journey around the world lasted nearly 5 years. It was far more than a simple adventure. It was a profound scientific expedition. Darwin meticulously collected thousands of specimens: plants, animals, rocks, and fossils. He observed the geology of distant lands. He noted the subtle variations in wildlife from place to place. Every detail was carefully recorded in his notebooks. These observations became the bedrock of his revolutionary ideas. A pivotal stop on this voyage was the Galapagos Islands, this remote volcanic archipelago in the Pacific Ocean. Here Darwin encountered creatures found nowhere else. Finches with strikingly different beak shapes, each suited to a different food source. Giant tortoises with shells varying from island to island. He puzzled over these observations. Why these subtle yet significant differences? Could it be that species were not immutable? Could they, in fact, change over time, adapting to their unique environments? These questions began to take root in his mind. Upon his return to England, Darwin did not rush to publish. Instead, he dedicated years to careful analysis and further research. He studied his vast collections. He read extensively, including Thomas Malthus's work on population. He corresponded with other naturalists and even studied domesticated animals like pigeons. Slowly, painstakingly, he pieced together his theory. The theory of evolution by means of natural selection. He understood its profound implications. He knew it would challenge the established order and spark great debate. The year 1859 stands as a watershed moment in the history of science. It was the year Charles Darwin finally published his groundbreaking work. The full title was On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or The Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. This book was not a sudden revelation. It was the culmination of decades of meticulous observation and profound thought. Its publication sent intellectual shockwaves across the globe. It presented a powerful argument backed by a wealth of evidence for a new understanding of life's history. At the heart of Darwin's book was a revolutionary concept: descent with modification. He proposed that all living things on Earth are related, that they have descended from common ancestors over vast stretches of time. Species are not static, they change. They diversify much like the branches of a great tree, all stemming from a common trunk. This elegant idea provided a unifying framework. It could explain both the astonishing diversity of life and the striking similarities observed between different organisms. Life, Darwin argued, had a shared history. The impact of the origin of species was immediate and immense. It ignited fierce debates among scientists, theologians, and the general public. Some hailed it as a brilliant illumination of nature's processes. Others were deeply troubled by its implications, particularly for humanity's perceived special place in creation. The book challenged deeply entrenched beliefs about the world and our role within it. It forced people to reconsider the very nature of life. The conversations it started continue to resonate even in our modern world. Darwin's work did more than just stir debate. It laid the very foundation for modern biology. The theory of evolution by natural selection became a central unifying principle. It transformed how scientists approached the study of life, from the smallest microbes to the largest whales, from understanding ancient fossils to deciphering the genetic code. Darwin's insights remain profoundly relevant today. The Origin of Species is not merely an old book. It is a testament to the power of observation and reason, a true scientific masterpiece. Darwin's key insight was natural selection, the process by which organisms better suited to their environment survive and reproduce. Variation within a population is essential. Some individuals have traits that give them an edge. These advantageous traits are inherited by offspring. Over generations, beneficial traits become more common, shaping species to fit their environments. Natural selection is not a conscious force, but a natural outcome of competition and survival. This is how life adapts and evolves, one generation at a time. Evolution is the gradual change in heritable traits of populations over time, driven by natural selection and other forces. It acts on populations, not individuals, and unfolds over immense timescales. Evolution has no predetermined goal. It simply adapts organisms to their current environments. Adaptations like a dolphin's streamlined body or an insect's camouflage are the result of countless generations of selection. Most evolutionary changes are slow, spanning thousands or millions of years. This vast history has produced the incredible diversity of life we see today. All life is connected through a vast tree of life, with every species tracing back to common ancestors. Humans share a branch with primates like monkeys and apes, but we did not descend from modern monkeys. Instead, we share a common ancestor with them, much like cousins share grandparents. Our closest living relatives are chimpanzees, with whom we share an ancestor from millions of years ago. From this ancestor, different lineages diverged, leading to modern humans, chimpanzees, and other apes. Each lineage followed its own evolutionary path, shaped by unique pressures. Evolution is not a ladder, but a branching bush, with each species representing a successful tip. Modern monkeys and apes are our evolutionary cousins, not our ancestors. Each primate lineage has evolved its own unique adaptations over millions of years. No species is more evolved. All are adapted to their own environments. Our similarities and differences with other primates reflect both shared ancestry and divergent evolution. This branching pattern reveals our true place in nature, one remarkable twig among many. The story of human evolution is revealed through fossils, nature's diary, preserved in stone. Fossils provide direct evidence of extinct species and show how anatomy changed over time. Though the fossil record is incomplete, it consistently reveals a progression from ape-like ancestors to modern humans. Transitional fossils display a mix of ancestral and modern traits, illuminating our evolutionary path. Each discovery refines our understanding of human origins. Fossils are the foundation of our knowledge, connecting us to our ancient past. Australopithecus, living in Africa millions of years ago, marks a key stage in our evolution. The famous fossil Lucy shows clear adaptations for walking upright, bipedalism. Fossilized footprints at Laetoli confirm early hominins walked much like us. Australopithecines combined walking with climbing, adapting to changing environments. Their brains were larger than apes, but smaller than ours, and their teeth suggest a varied diet. Bipedalism set the stage for later evolutionary changes in our lineage. Homo habilis, or handyman, lived in Africa and is linked to the earliest stone tools. Their larger brains and tool use mark the dawn of the genus Homo. Simple stone tools show cognitive advances, planning and modifying objects for specific tasks. Tool use opened new food sources and improved survival. Changes in teeth and face suggest a shift in diet, possibly more meat. The interplay of brain growth, dexterity, and technology drove human evolution forward. Following Homo habilis, another pivotal species appears in the fossil record, Homo erectus, meaning upright man. This species emerged in Africa around 1.9 million years ago and represents a major advancement in human evolution. Homo erectus was taller, with a larger brain and a body plan much more similar to modern humans than any of its predecessors. Their brain size ranged from about 800 to 1100 cubic centimeters, overlapping with the lower range of modern human brain size. This increased cranial capacity suggests further enhancements in cognitive abilities. One of the most remarkable aspects of Homo erectus was its geographical spread. Unlike earlier hominins who were confined to Africa, Homo erectus was the first of our ancestors to venture out of the African continent. Fossil evidence shows they migrated across Asia, reaching as far as Indonesia and China, and also into parts of Europe. This expansion into new and diverse environments demonstrates a significant increase in adaptability. They were skilled tool makers, producing more sophisticated stone tools known as Acheulean tools, characterized by well-crafted hand axes. These tools were versatile and used for butchering, woodworking, and digging. Perhaps one of the most transformative innovations associated with Homo erectus is the controlled use of fire. While the exact timing for the earliest control of fire is debated, evidence suggests that Homo erectus was likely using fire by at least 1 million years ago, perhaps even earlier. Fire provided warmth, protection from predators, a means to cook food, and a social focal point. Cooking food made it easier to digest and unlocked more nutrients, which could have contributed to brain development. The ability to control fire was a monumental step, fundamentally changing the way our ancestors interacted with their world. Homo erectus thrived for an incredibly long period, over 1.5 million years, much longer than our own species has existed so far. Their success was due to a combination of factors: their larger brains, more advanced tools, cooperative behaviors, and their ability to adapt to diverse climates and ecosystems. They were efficient walkers and possibly runners, capable of covering long distances. This species represents a critical bridge, showcasing many of the traits that we consider distinctly human. They were truly pioneers, setting the stage for the later emergence of species like Neanderthals and eventually Homo sapiens. As the story of human evolution unfolds, we encounter Homo neanderthalensis, or Neanderthals. They are perhaps our most famous and closest extinct human relatives. Neanderthals lived in Europe and parts of Western and Central Asia from about 400,000 to 40,000 years ago. They were robustly built, with shorter, stockier bodies than modern humans, an adaptation likely suited to the cold climates of Ice Age Eurasia. Their brains were, on average, as large as or even slightly larger than ours. This challenges any notion that they were brutish or unintelligent, a stereotype that has long been debunked by scientific findings. Neanderthals were skilled hunters and tool makers. They crafted sophisticated stone tools known as Mousterian tools, which were more refined and varied than the earlier Acheulean tools. They hunted large game, such as mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and deer. There is compelling evidence that Neanderthals lived in social groups, cared for their sick and injured, and even buried their dead, sometimes with symbolic offerings. These behaviors suggest a complex social structure and perhaps even a capacity for symbolic thought, aspects of life once thought to be unique to Homo sapiens. Around 300,000 years ago, our own species, Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa. Early Homo sapiens shared the planet with other hominin species, including Neanderthals and the more recently discovered Denisovans in Asia. For a period, these different human groups coexisted and, as genetic evidence now conclusively shows, interbred. Many modern humans outside of Africa carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA in their genomes, a testament to these ancient encounters. This intermingling adds another layer of complexity and richness to our evolutionary story. The eventual success of Homo sapiens, leading to our status as the sole surviving human species, is a topic of ongoing research and debate. Factors likely included advanced cognitive abilities, perhaps more sophisticated language, larger social networks, and greater technological innovation. The transition from a world populated by multiple human species to one dominated by Homo sapiens marks the final chapters of the fossil record leading to us. These fossils, from Neanderthals to early Homo sapiens, are not just bones, they are the tangible remains of our very recent ancestors and cousins, connecting us directly to the deep past. Beyond the ancient bones and stone tools, another powerful line of evidence illuminates our evolutionary journey: genetics. Deep within the nucleus of almost every cell in our body lies deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. This remarkable molecule is the blueprint of life, carrying the hereditary information passed down through generations. By comparing the DNA of modern humans with that of other living primates, and even with ancient DNA extracted from fossils, scientists can unravel the intricate genetic threads that connect us to our past. This molecular approach offers profound insights into our origins and relationships. The study of genetics has revolutionized our understanding of human evolution in recent decades. It allows us to quantify the genetic similarities and differences between species with remarkable precision. For example, when we compare the human genome to that of chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, we find an astonishing degree of similarity. Depending on how the comparison is made, our DNA is roughly 98 to 99% identical to that of chimpanzees. This overwhelming genetic likeness is compelling evidence of a shared ancestry. It points to a common ancestral population from which both modern humans and modern chimpanzees diverged. This genetic closeness extends to other primates as well. Though the similarity decreases as the evolutionary distance grows, we share a significant portion of our DNA with gorillas, then orangutans, and then with monkeys, reflecting the branching pattern of the primate family tree. These genetic comparisons act like a molecular clock. By analyzing the number of genetic differences between species, scientists can estimate how long ago their lineages diverged from a common ancestor. These estimates generally align well with the timelines suggested by the fossil record, providing a powerful, independent confirmation of our evolutionary history. Furthermore, studying human genetic variation across different populations around the world has helped us trace migration patterns and understand the relatively recent origins of our own species. The genetic data overwhelmingly supports the out-of-Africa model, indicating that modern humans first arose in Africa and then spread across the globe, replacing or interbreeding with other hominin populations they encountered. Genetics, therefore, provides not just a confirmation of our primate heritage, but also a detailed map of our more recent ancestral journey across the planet. The fact that human DNA is approximately 98 to 99% identical to chimpanzee DNA is a profound revelation. It really underscores our close evolutionary relationship with these intelligent apes. We share a common ancestor that lived millions of years ago, and since that divergence, our respective lineages have accumulated genetic changes. While the overall similarity is striking, it's the small percentage of difference, that crucial 1 to 2%, that actually accounts for the vast distinctions we observe in anatomy, cognition, and behavior between humans and chimpanzees. These seemingly minor genetic variations have had, honestly, monumental consequences. Scientists are actively working to identify which specific genes and which changes within those genes are responsible for uniquely human traits. This is a complex task, as many traits are influenced by multiple genes interacting with each other and with the environment. Some of the key areas of genetic difference appear to be in genes related to brain development and function, such as those controlling the size of the cerebral cortex, the timing of brain growth, and the connections between neurons. These genetic shifts likely underpin our advanced cognitive abilities, including complex language and abstract thought. Other genetic differences contribute to physical distinctions. For example, genes involved in skeletal development have played a role in our upright posture and bipedal locomotion. Changes in genes related to our hands and thumbs have enhanced our manual dexterity, which is, crucial for sophisticated tool use. Even genes affecting our vocal tract and the muscles of our larynx and tongue show differences, likely contributing to our capacity for articulate speech. It's not just the presence or absence of certain genes, but often changes in how genes are regulated, when and where they are turned on or off, that drives significant evolutionary change. The comparison extends beyond chimpanzees. When we look at the genome of a more distantly related mammal, like a mouse, the genetic similarity to humans drops significantly. Yet many fundamental genes involved in basic cellular processes are still shared due to a much more ancient common ancestor. This tiered level of genetic similarity across different species provides a powerful and consistent testament to the concept of common descent. The small genetic gulf between humans and chimpanzees, despite our manifest differences, highlights how subtle changes in the genetic code amplified over evolutionary time can lead to extraordinary new capacities. Our own bodies are living testaments to our evolutionary heritage, carrying anatomical echoes of a deep primate past. Many of our physical features are not unique to humans, but are shared with other primates, reflecting our common ancestry. Consider our hands. The five-fingered or pentadactyl limb is a fundamental vertebrate trait, but the primate hand, with its opposable thumb and grasping ability, is a specific adaptation for life in the trees. This ancestral trait, originally for gripping branches, has been repurposed in humans for the precise manipulation of tools and objects, which is really a cornerstone of our technological prowess. Look also at our eyes. Like other primates, humans have forward-facing eyes, which provide stereoscopic or three-dimensional vision. This adaptation was crucial for arboreal life, allowing our ancestors to judge distances accurately when leaping between branches. While we may no longer swing through trees, this enhanced depth perception remains vital for many human activities. Our relatively large brains, housed within a protective cranium, are another hallmark of the primate order. While human brains are exceptionally large and complex, the trend towards increased brain size relative to body size is evident throughout primate evolution. The structure of our pelvis and lower limbs tells a compelling story of adaptation for upright walking. While our primate ancestors were primarily quadrupedal or adapted for climbing, the human pelvis is broader and bowl-shaped. This provides support for the internal organs and allows for efficient muscle attachment for bipedal locomotion. Our femurs or thigh bones angle inwards from the hip to the knee, positioning our feet directly beneath our center of gravity for stable walking. These are clear modifications of an ancestral primate skeletal plan, reshaped by natural selection for life on the ground. From bones to posture, our body carries the legacy of a primate past. Even features we might consider distinctly human, like our reduced body hair compared to other apes, or our S-shaped spine that helps absorb the shock of walking upright, are modifications of ancestral primate traits. The loss of a tail, characteristic of apes and humans, is another shared derived feature distinguishing us from most monkeys. By studying comparative anatomy, scientists can trace these similarities and differences, reconstructing the evolutionary pathways that have shaped the diverse forms within the primate order, including our own species. Our anatomy is a roadmap of our history. The scientific evidence for human evolution extends beyond fossils, genes, and anatomy into the realm of behavior. By observing our closest living relatives, the non-human primates, we can gain valuable insights into the possible behavioral foundations from which our own complex cognitive abilities arose. Many primates, particularly apes like chimpanzees, bonobos, and orangutans, exhibit remarkable intelligence, complex social lives, and even rudimentary forms of tool use and cultural transmission. These parallels offer tantalizing clues about the cognitive capacities of our shared ancestors. Chimpanzees, for instance, have been observed using a variety of tools in the wild. They use stones to crack open nuts, sticks to fish for termites or ants, and crumpled leaves as sponges to soak up water. Different chimpanzee communities even develop their own unique tool-using traditions, which are passed down from one generation to the next through observation and learning. This suggests a capacity for problem-solving, innovation, and social learning behaviors that are foundational to human culture, albeit expressed with far greater complexity in our own species. Furthermore, studies with primates in controlled settings have revealed impressive cognitive abilities. Apes can learn sign language or use lexicograms, those symbolic keyboards, to communicate with humans, demonstrating an understanding of symbols and basic syntax. They can recognize themselves in mirrors, indicating a degree of self-awareness. They engage in complex social strategies, forming alliances, reconciling after conflicts, and showing empathy towards others. While these abilities do not equate to human language or human self-consciousness, they suggest that the cognitive building blocks for these traits were present in our common ancestors. Of course, humans have taken these foundational abilities to an entirely new level. Our capacity for abstract thought, symbolic language, cumulative culture, and technological innovation far outstrips that of any other primate. We don't just use simple tools, we design intricate machines and create vast digital networks. We don't just communicate immediate needs, we write poetry, compose symphonies, and debate philosophical concepts. However, understanding the behavioral parallels with other primates helps us appreciate that our extraordinary human mind did not spring into existence from nowhere. It is the product of a long evolutionary journey, building upon a rich primate cognitive heritage. We have journeyed through millennia, tracing our biological roots. We've seen how closely we are related to our primate cousins, sharing an overwhelming majority of our DNA. This, of course, naturally leads to a profound question. If we are so genetically similar, then what truly sets us apart? What makes us so distinctly human? One of the most striking answers lies in our extraordinary ability to communicate. While many animals possess methods of signaling, human language is a phenomenon of unparalleled complexity and power. It's far more than just a series of grunts or calls. It's really a symphony of sounds and symbols, capable of conveying an almost infinite range of meanings and ideas across generations. Human language allows us to step beyond the immediate, the here and now. Animals might warn of danger or signal for food, but humans can discuss the distant past or plan meticulously for the far future. We can speak of things that do not physically exist, of concepts like love, justice, or freedom. This capacity for abstract thought, intricately woven with our linguistic abilities, is a cornerstone of our unique cognitive landscape. We use words as symbols, painting intricate pictures in the minds of others. This symbolic power unlocks worlds of shared understanding and collective imagination, forming the bedrock of our societies and our civilizations. Consider the intricate structure of our languages. Every human language, despite its surface-level diversity, possesses a sophisticated grammar and syntax. These are the underlying rules that govern how words are combined to form meaningful sentences. This grammatical framework allows for what linguists call infinite generativity. With a finite set of words and rules, we can create and understand a limitless number of novel sentences. This boundless creativity and expression is a hallmark of human language. It enables us to articulate precise details, to tell elaborate stories, and to build complex arguments, fostering a depth of communication unknown elsewhere in the natural world. The development of such complex language had a transformative impact on our ancestors. It allowed for unprecedented levels of cooperation, facilitating coordinated hunting, group defense, and the sharing of vital resources. Knowledge could be passed down not just through imitation, but through explicit instruction and detailed narratives. Stories, myths, and histories bound communities together, creating shared identities and cultural continuity. Language became the primary vehicle for transmitting the accumulated wisdom of generations, fueling the rapid expansion of human culture and innovation. It is in many ways the very lifeblood of our humanity. Beyond the realm of language, another profound distinction marks the human experience, our heightened sense of self-awareness. While some other intelligent animals may exhibit rudimentary forms of self-recognition, humans possess a deeply reflective consciousness. We are not merely aware of our surroundings, we are aware of ourselves as individuals, distinct entities with our own thoughts, feelings and histories. We can turn our gaze inward, contemplating our own existence. This ability to introspect, to ponder the I at the center of our experience, opens up entirely new dimensions of thought and emotion, shaping our understanding of our place in the universe. This profound self-awareness brings with it a uniquely human understanding, the knowledge of our own mortality. The realization that our individual lives are finite is a powerful existential awareness. It influences our actions, our beliefs, and our deepest anxieties. This understanding of death may be a source of fear, but it also imbues life with a sense of preciousness and urgency. It can inspire us to leave a legacy, to create meaning, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. The ways in which different cultures grapple with mortality have given rise to diverse philosophical systems, religious beliefs, and elaborate rituals surrounding death and remembrance. From this crucible of self-awareness and the understanding of mortality emerges the capacity for ethical and moral reasoning. If we understand ourselves as individuals with feelings and a desire to avoid suffering, we can begin to extend that understanding to others. We develop concepts of fairness, justice, empathy, and compassion. We create codes of conduct, societal laws, and moral frameworks that guide our interactions. While the specifics of these ethical systems vary across cultures and time, the fundamental human capacity to reflect on right and wrong, to consider the consequences of our actions on others, stems from this deep-seated self-awareness. Furthermore, our ability to understand our own minds allows us to infer the mental states of others, a concept known as theory of mind. We can imagine what others might be thinking or feeling, anticipate their reactions, and engage in complex social navigation. This capacity is crucial for building and maintaining the intricate social networks that characterize human societies. It allows for sophisticated cooperation, deception, teaching, and empathy. Self-awareness, therefore, is not just an internal state, it is a powerful engine driving our complex social lives and our ability to form deep, meaningful connections with one another, shaping the very fabric of our communities. Humans are not solitary creatures. We are profoundly social, and this sociality gives rise to another defining characteristic: culture. While some primates exhibit forms of social learning, human culture is of an entirely different magnitude and complexity. It's a vast, interwoven tapestry of shared knowledge, beliefs, values, customs, arts, laws, and technologies. This collective heritage is learned and transmitted from one generation to the next, not primarily through genes, but through teaching, imitation, and language. This ability for cumulative culture, where innovations are built upon and refined over time, allows for rapid adaptation and progress far beyond the pace of biological evolution. At the heart of human culture lie shared beliefs and traditions. These can range from spiritual or religious systems to social norms that govern daily interactions. Rituals, ceremonies, and festivals play a crucial role in reinforcing these beliefs and strengthening community bonds. Storytelling, in its myriad forms, myths, legends, histories, and even everyday gossip, serves as a powerful vehicle for transmitting cultural values, moral lessons, and collective memory. These shared narratives help to create a sense of identity and belonging, uniting individuals into cohesive groups with a common understanding of the world. One of the most remarkable aspects of human culture is its astonishing diversity. Across the globe, different societies have developed unique languages, artistic expressions, social structures, and ways of life, each adapted to their specific environments and historical experiences. Yet beneath this vibrant surface of variation, we often find underlying common themes and concerns. The search for meaning, the need for social connection, the desire to understand the world, and the impulse to create beauty are threads that run through nearly all human cultures. This combination of boundless diversity and shared human universals makes the study of culture endlessly fascinating. Ultimately, culture provides a powerful mechanism for adaptation. While genetic evolution is a slow process, cultural evolution can be remarkably swift. Humans can learn new behaviors, adopt new technologies, and change their social organization within a single generation in response to new challenges or opportunities. This flexibility has allowed our species to thrive in almost every conceivable environment on Earth, from the frozen Arctic to the arid deserts, from towering mountains to remote islands. Culture is our species' primary adaptive strategy, a dynamic and ever-evolving system that shapes who we are and how we live. The story of humanity is inextricably linked with the story of technology. We saw earlier how Homo habilis crafted the first simple stone tools, which was honestly a crucial step in our evolutionary journey. But what truly distinguishes human technological development isn't just its ancient origins, but, its relentless acceleration and ever-increasing complexity. From those early hand axes and choppers, human ingenuity has propelled us on an astonishing trajectory. We've moved from shaping stone to harnessing fire, from domesticating plants and animals to building cities, and from forging metals to splitting the atom and venturing beyond our own planet. This capacity for sustained technological innovation is really unparalleled. This technological journey hasn't been a simple, linear progression. Instead, it's involved a dynamic feedback loop. New technologies have not only solved existing problems, but have also reshaped our societies, our environments, and even our bodies and minds. The invention of agriculture, for example, led to settled lifestyles, population growth, and the rise of complex civilizations. The printing press revolutionized the spread of information, fueling intellectual and social change. The Industrial Revolution transformed economies and daily life on an unprecedented scale. Each major technological shift has opened up new possibilities and presented new challenges, driving further innovation in an ever-quickening cycle. Consider the sheer scale of human technological achievement. We have learned to manipulate materials at the atomic level. We've created global communication networks that connect billions of people instantaneously. We've developed medicines that have dramatically increased our lifespan and eradicated ancient diseases. We build structures that pierce the clouds and vehicles that traverse oceans and continents with ease. This relentless drive to understand, to invent, and to build is a fundamental aspect of the human spirit. It reflects our innate curiosity and our desire to overcome limitations and reshape the world around us to meet our needs and aspirations. Today we stand at the cusp of yet another technological wave, with advances in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and renewable energy promising to redefine our future once again. From the first deliberately chipped stone to the algorithms that now power our digital world, the human technological journey is a testament to our unique cognitive abilities. It demonstrates our capacity for foresight, planning, collaboration, and the cumulative building of knowledge. While our primate cousins may use simple tools, the human drive to invent, refine, and expand our technological capabilities has truly set us on a distinct evolutionary path, transforming our planet and our place within it. Beyond the pragmatic development of tools and technologies, humans possess a profound creative impulse that manifests in countless other ways. We're a species that creates for reasons that extend far beyond mere survival. We paint, we sculpt, we sing, we dance, we tell stories, and we compose music. This drive to create art, to express emotions, and to explore beauty really seems to be a fundamental human need. From the earliest cave paintings created tens of thousands of years ago to the most contemporary forms of artistic expression, this creative spark has illuminated the human journey, offering insights into our inner worlds and our shared experiences. At the core of this creativity lies the power of human imagination. We possess the remarkable ability to envision things that do not yet exist, to dream up new possibilities, and to explore alternative realities within our minds. This capacity to mentally detach from the immediate present and to play with ideas and concepts is honestly a wellspring of innovation. not only in the arts but also in science, philosophy, and everyday problem-solving. Imagination allows us to ask, what if, to experiment with novel solutions and to bring forth entirely new creations into the world, shaping our environment in ways no other species can. The archaeological record provides compelling evidence for the antiquity of this creative and symbolic thought. As far back as 40,000 years ago, and perhaps even earlier, our ancestors were adorning cave walls with stunning depictions of animals and abstract signs. They carved intricate figurines from bone and ivory and created personal ornaments like beads and pendants. These ancient artworks suggest a mind capable of symbolic representation, of imbuing objects and images with meaning beyond their literal form. They hint at rituals, beliefs, and stories that were part of the rich cultural lives of these early modern humans, demonstrating a sophisticated engagement with the world. This creative impulse isn't merely a frivolous pastime, it actually plays a crucial role in human society and innovation. Art can communicate complex emotions and ideas that transcend language. It can foster empathy, challenge conventions, and inspire social change. The ability to imagine different futures is essential for planning and for developing novel solutions to complex problems. Creativity fuels scientific discovery, technological advancement, and the development of new cultural forms. It's this restless, inventive, and expressive spirit that continually pushes the boundaries of human achievement and enriches our experience of being alive, making our world more meaningful and vibrant. As we reflect on the symphony of human language, the introspective depths of self-awareness, the rich tapestry of culture, the relentless march of technology, and the boundless wellspring of creativity, a unifying picture emerges. These are not isolated traits, but interconnected facets of a uniquely human cognitive and behavioral suite. Our complex language facilitates the sharing of cultural knowledge and the coordination of technological endeavors. Our self-awareness underpins our ethical systems and our capacity for deep imaginative thought. Culture provides the framework for developing and transmitting these remarkable abilities across generations, creating a powerful synergy. It becomes clear that the answer to why are we so different lies not just in subtle genetic shifts, but in a profound evolutionary divergence that encompasses mind and culture. Humans didn't just evolve biologically, we evolved mentally and culturally. This co-evolutionary process, where changes in our biology, like an expanding brain, enabled new mental and cultural capacities, which in turn created new selective pressures for further biological adaptation, has propelled us along a unique trajectory. Our minds have been shaped not only by the natural environment, but also by the increasingly complex social and symbolic worlds we ourselves have created. This mental and cultural odyssey is not a completed chapter in our history, it's an ongoing process. Humanity continues to evolve. Our cultures are constantly changing, adapting, and diversifying. Our technologies are advancing at an ever-increasing pace, presenting new opportunities and profound ethical considerations. Our understanding of ourselves and the universe continues to expand through scientific inquiry and philosophical reflection. We are, in a very real sense, a work in progress, a species still actively shaping its own future through the power of its collective intellect and its capacity for innovation and adaptation. These unique human attributes, our language, self-awareness, culture, technology, and creativity, bestow upon us an extraordinary influence over our planet and its inhabitants. With this power comes a profound responsibility. Understanding what makes us human is not merely an academic exercise. It's an invitation to reflect on our values, our choices, and our impact on the world. Our journey from a shared primate ancestor to the globally dominant species we are today is a story of remarkable transformation. And as we continue to evolve both mentally and culturally, the question of who we are becoming remains one of the most vital inquiries we can pursue. The scientific exploration of human evolution, rich with fossil discoveries and genetic insights, paints a compelling picture of our biological journey. It tells us about the physical transformations that shaped our species over millions of years. However, this understanding of how we came to be naturally leads to deeper, more ancient questions. Questions about why we are here, what our ultimate purpose might be, and how we should understand our place in the grand scheme of existence. These are inquiries that often extend beyond the realm of empirical science, venturing into the diverse landscapes of religious belief and philosophical contemplation, where meaning and value take center stage. The unearthing of our primate ancestry and the mechanisms of evolution have, for centuries, intersected with deeply held spiritual and philosophical convictions. This intersection is not a monolithic block of agreement or disagreement. Instead, it is a vibrant spectrum of human thought. Some find the scientific narrative to be in direct conflict with their understanding of divine creation and human uniqueness. Others perceive a profound harmony, seeing the evolutionary process itself as a testament to a creator's wisdom or a natural unfolding that does not diminish our spiritual or moral significance. This dialogue between science and belief is ongoing, dynamic, and deeply personal for many. Many faith traditions possess ancient scriptures and oral histories that speak to the origins of humanity and the cosmos. These narratives, often rich in metaphor and allegory, have provided answers and solace for millennia. When confronted with the findings of modern science, these traditions have responded in varied ways. Some interpretations adhere strictly to literal readings of sacred texts, viewing evolutionary theory with skepticism or outright rejection. Others engage in sophisticated theological reflection, reinterpreting ancient wisdom in ways that accommodate or even celebrate scientific discovery, finding new depths of meaning in their foundational stories when viewed through a contemporary lens. This part of our journey, therefore, moves from the tangible evidence of bones and genes to the more intangible yet equally crucial human quest for meaning. We will explore how different religious worldviews address the question of human origins, from narratives of special creation to the embrace of evolution as a divine tool. We will also touch upon the philosophical quandaries that arise. What is the nature of consciousness if it arose from biological processes? How do we define the human soul or the self in light of our evolved nature? These are not simple questions with easy answers, but their exploration enriches our understanding of what it truly means to be human. Across the globe and throughout human history, cultures have woven intricate and profound narratives to explain their origins and the creation of the world. These creation stories, found within countless religious traditions, often depict humans as the result of a deliberate, divine act. For many, these accounts are not merely ancient myths, but sacred truths that reveal fundamental aspects of humanity's relationship with a creator or a higher power. In the Abrahamic faiths, for instance, the book of Genesis famously describes God fashioning Adam from dust and Eve from Adam's rib, breathing life into them and setting them apart from all other creatures in a specially prepared garden. Such narratives frequently emphasize a unique status for humankind within the created order. The concept of being made in the image of God, central to Jewish, Christian, and Islamic thought, bestows upon humans a particular dignity, responsibility, and spiritual capacity. This idea often implies a qualitative difference, not just a quantitative one, between humans and other animals. These stories shape believers' understanding of human purpose, morality, and our inherent worth. They provide a framework for understanding suffering, redemption, and the ultimate destiny of the human soul, offering comfort and guidance in navigating the complexities of life. From this perspective, the idea of humans evolving from earlier non-human primate ancestors can present a significant challenge. If humans were specially created, distinct from the animal kingdom, then a purely naturalistic evolutionary account might seem to undermine this foundational belief. For those who hold to a literal interpretation of these creation narratives, the scientific evidence for common descent can be difficult to reconcile with their faith. This has led some to question the validity of evolutionary science itself, or to seek alternative explanations for the fossil record and genetic similarities that align more closely with their theological commitments. It is important to recognize, however, that even within traditions that uphold divine creation, there exists a diversity of interpretation. Some differentiate between the act of creation and the method of creation, suggesting that sacred texts speak to the who and why, rather than providing a scientific how. Others, like young Earth creationists, interpret scriptural timelines literally, proposing a recent creation of the Earth and all life forms. Old Earth creationists, conversely, accept the geological antiquity of the Earth but may view different species, including humans, as being specially created at different points in that long history. These varied approaches highlight the ongoing efforts to relate faith to the findings of science. Amidst the diverse responses to evolutionary theory, a significant number of believers and theologians have found ways to harmonize their faith with the scientific understanding of human origins. This approach is often termed theistic evolution, or evolutionary creationism. At its core, this perspective accepts the robust scientific evidence for evolution, including the evolution of humans from earlier primates. However, it posits that this intricate unfolding process is not random or unguided, but rather is the very means through which a divine creator chose to bring about the diversity of life, including the emergence of humankind. Proponents of theistic evolution see no inherent contradiction between the scientific description of how life evolved and the religious conviction that God is the ultimate source and sustainer of all that exists. In this view, God is the primary cause, the intelligent mind behind the universe and its natural laws. Evolution, driven by mechanisms like natural selection and genetic mutation, is seen as a secondary cause, the carefully orchestrated process through which God's creative purposes are realized over vast expanses of time. This perspective allows for an appreciation of both scientific discovery and religious faith, viewing them as complementary ways of understanding reality. For many who embrace theistic evolution, the grandeur of the evolutionary narrative enhances their awe and reverence for the Creator. The immense timescale, the intricate adaptations, and the interconnectedness of all living things are seen not as evidence against divine action, but as a testament to God's patient, subtle, and ingenious creativity. The evolutionary journey, with its struggles, its innovations, and its eventual production of self-aware, morally responsible beings like humans, can be interpreted as a profound drama authored by a divine hand. This view finds beauty in a universe that is dynamic and developing rather than static and instantly formed. Many mainstream Christian denominations, including the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, and various Protestant bodies, have issued statements affirming that evolutionary science is compatible with their theological doctrines. Similar accommodative stances can be found among thinkers in Judaism and Islam who argue that their sacred texts, when interpreted thoughtfully, do not conflict with the scientific account of life's development. In these frameworks, the focus often shifts from the literal mechanics of creation to the overarching divine purpose and the unique spiritual capacities with which humans are endowed, regardless of the precise biological pathway of their emergence. Our scientific journey has illuminated the biological evolution of the human form, tracing our physical lineage back through time. Yet this understanding of our material development inevitably raises profound philosophical questions about the non-material aspects of our being, most notably our consciousness. If our bodies, including our complex brains, are the product of natural selection, then what of our rich inner world? Is our subjective experience, the feeling of joy, the perception of red, the awareness of self, merely an elaborate byproduct of electrochemical processes within an evolved organ, or is there something more to it? This is often referred to as the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. The easy problems, relatively speaking, involve understanding how the brain processes information, how it controls behavior, or how it discriminates between stimuli. Science is making remarkable progress in these areas. The hard problem, however, delves into why and how these physical brain processes give rise to subjective qualitative experience. The what it's like to be aware. Can a purely biological account rooted in evolutionary origins fully explain the emergence of this phenomenal awareness from seemingly insentient matter? Philosophers have grappled with this enigma for centuries, and the evolutionary perspective adds another layer to the debate. Materialist or physicalist views propose that consciousness is entirely a product of the physical brain. As the brain evolved in complexity, particularly in the human lineage, consciousness emerged as a novel property, perhaps offering survival advantages. Dualist perspectives, in contrast, suggest that mind or consciousness is fundamentally distinct from the physical brain, a non-material substance or property that interacts with the body. This view often aligns more easily with traditional notions of an immaterial soul, but faces challenges in explaining how a non-physical mind could interact with a physical brain. Other philosophical positions, such as panpsychism, propose that consciousness, in some rudimentary form, is a fundamental feature of the universe, present even at the level of basic physical particles. In this view, the complex consciousness of humans and other animals didn't emerge from nothing, but rather is a complexification of a more fundamental property. The evolutionary origin of humans forces us to consider these questions with renewed urgency. If we are part of the natural continuum of life, how did this extraordinary capacity for subjective experience arise, and what does it tell us about the nature of reality itself? The mystery of consciousness remains one of the deepest and most compelling frontiers of human inquiry. Closely intertwined with the riddle of consciousness is the philosophical quest to understand the nature of the self or the soul. What constitutes our personal identity, that enduring sense of me-ness that persists through time and change? Traditional religious views often posit the existence of an immaterial soul, a spiritual essence created by God, which is the true seat of identity, moral agency, and often immortality. This soul is typically seen as what makes humans unique and imbues them with intrinsic worth, setting them apart from other living creatures. How does such a concept align with an evolutionary understanding of human origins from pre-existing species? For those who believe in a divinely created soul, its origin might be seen as a special divine act occurring at some point in the evolutionary development of humans, or at the conception of each individual. The soul might be considered the animating principle that elevates a biologically evolved hominin to the status of a fully human being, capable of a relationship with God and bearing moral responsibility. Reconciling this with scientific accounts often involves distinguishing between the biological development of the human body and the spiritual endowment of the human soul, a task that theologians and philosophers continue to explore with great nuance and depth. Philosophical perspectives on the self, however, are diverse and do not all rely on the traditional concept of an immaterial soul. Some thinkers argue that the self is an emergent property of complex brain function, a continuously generated narrative that our minds construct to make sense of our experiences. Others explore the idea of the self as a bundle of perceptions and memories, as suggested by philosophers like David Hume, questioning whether a single, unified, unchanging self truly exists. From an evolutionary standpoint, a sense of self and personal identity could have conferred adaptive advantages, facilitating social cooperation, long-term planning, and the ability to learn from past experiences. Ultimately, even with all our scientific knowledge about our genetic makeup and our evolutionary past, the fundamental questions of who we are, what our lives mean, and what defines our essence continue to resonate deeply. As the narrator in our journey might ponder, even with all our scientific knowledge, we still ask, who are we really? The evolutionary story provides a powerful context for our biological existence, connecting us to the vast web of life. Yet the human search for identity, purpose, and a connection to something beyond the material remains a defining characteristic of our species, driving our religious traditions, our philosophical inquiries, and our unending quest to understand our place in the cosmos. One of the most persistent and widespread misunderstandings about human evolution centers on our relationship with monkeys. You have likely heard the question, perhaps even asked it yourself. If humans evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? This query, while understandable, stems from a fundamental misinterpretation of how evolution actually works. It conjures up a simple, linear image of a modern monkey transforming directly into a modern human, like a character in a magical story. The reality, however, is far more intricate and indeed far more fascinating than this common caricature suggests. It involves exploring a shared family tree rather than a direct single-file procession from one species to another. The truth is that humans did not evolve from any species of monkey that is alive in the world today. Instead, the scientific consensus, overwhelmingly supported by fossil and genetic evidence, tells us that humans and modern monkeys share a common ancestor. Imagine a vast, ancient family tree. If you trace your own lineage back, you share grandparents with your first cousins. You did not descend from your cousins, rather both you and your cousins descended from those shared grandparents. In a similar way, humans and modern monkeys are evolutionary cousins. We both branched off from an ancestral primate population that lived many millions of years ago, perhaps as far back as 25 to 30 million years, for the ancestor shared with Old World monkeys. This ancestor was neither a modern human nor a modern monkey. It was a distinct creature with its own unique set of characteristics. Since that ancient divergence, both the lineage leading to modern humans and the various lineages leading to modern monkeys have been on their own separate evolutionary journeys. Modern monkeys, like macaques, baboons, or capuchins, have continued to evolve and adapt to their own specific environments over millions of years. They are not stuck in the past, nor are they somehow less evolved than humans. Each living primate species today is a success story in its own right, beautifully adapted to its particular niche and way of life. They are our contemporaries on this planet, fellow travelers on different evolutionary paths that originated from that distant shared starting point in the deep past. Understanding this concept of common ancestry is absolutely crucial for grasping the true nature of human evolution. It replaces the misleading ladder-like image of progress with a more accurate, bushy, branching tree. It highlights our deep interconnectedness with the rest of the primate family, while also allowing us to appreciate the unique evolutionary trajectory that has shaped our own species, Homo sapiens. We are not the descendants of the monkeys we see in zoos or documentaries. Rather, we are their distant relatives, sharing an ancient heritage that speaks to the profound unity and diversity of life on Earth. This understanding helps us see our place more clearly within the grand tapestry of nature. Another common misconception that often surfaces in discussions about evolution is the idea of missing links. This term is frequently used to suggest that there are critical gaps in the fossil record, particularly concerning human evolution, and that without these supposed missing pieces, the entire theory is questionable. The very phrase missing link conjures an image of a single, definitive fossil that would perfectly bridge the gap between an ancestral ape and a modern human. However, this popular notion oversimplifies the nature of fossil discoveries and how scientists interpret the evidence of evolutionary change. The search is not for one elusive creature, but for a pattern of change over time. In reality, paleontologists have unearthed a wealth of fossil discoveries that illuminate the evolutionary path of humans. These are often referred to as transitional fossils or intermediate fossils. These terms do not mean that these creatures were some kind of monstrous half and half. Instead, they signify that these ancient species exhibit a mosaic of features. Some traits are reminiscent of their ancestral forms, while others are characteristic of later descendant species. We have encountered many such examples, like Australopithecus afarensis, also known as Lucy, who walked upright but still had a relatively small brain and ape-like features. Or Homo habilis, with its larger brain and association with early stone tools, bridging the gap to later Homo species. It is true that the fossil record is not and will never be perfectly complete. The process of fossilization is an exceptionally rare event. Only a tiny fraction of organisms that have ever lived are preserved as fossils, and only a fraction of those are ever discovered by scientists. Think of the specific conditions required: rapid burial in sediment, protection from scavengers and decay, and the right geological conditions for minerals to replace organic material over millions of years. Given these odds, it is remarkable that we have as many hominin fossils as we do. Each discovery provides another valuable clue, adding to our understanding, even if it doesn't represent every single generation that ever lived. Therefore, while we may not have a perfect, unbroken chain of every single ancestral species, the fossils we do possess provide powerful and consistent evidence for evolutionary transitions. They show a clear pattern of change over time: the gradual development of bipedalism, the increase in brain size, changes in tooth and jaw structure, and the emergence of tool use and culture. Scientists expect to find more fossils, and each new find helps to fill in more details of our rich ancestral story. The narrative is not one of missing links, but rather one of abundant and growing clues that paint an increasingly clear picture of our human origins. One of the most frequently heard dismissals of evolution is the claim that it is just a theory. This statement plays on a common misunderstanding of how the word theory is used in a scientific context. In everyday conversation, we might use theory to mean a guess, a hunch, an untested idea, or a mere speculation. For example, someone might say, "My theory is that the car won't start because the battery is dead," before they have actually checked the battery. This colloquial use implies a lack of certainty and a need for further investigation, which is quite different from its meaning within the scientific community. In science, a theory is far more substantial and well supported than a mere guess. A scientific theory is a comprehensive explanation of some aspect of the natural world that is based on a vast body of evidence, has been repeatedly tested and confirmed through observation and experimentation, and has significant predictive power. It is not a whimsical thought, but a robust framework that organizes and explains a wide range of facts. Think of other established scientific theories, such as the theory of gravity, which explains why objects fall to the ground, and how planets orbit stars, or cell theory, which states that all living things are composed of cells. These are not tentative ideas, they are foundational concepts in their respective fields. The theory of evolution by natural selection holds this same esteemed status within biology. It is not just a theory in the sense of being a speculative guess. It is the central, unifying principle of all life sciences. It is supported by an overwhelming convergence of evidence from many independent lines of inquiry. This includes the fossil record, which shows changes in organisms over geological time, comparative anatomy and embryology, which reveal homologous structures and developmental similarities pointing to common ancestry. Biogeography, which studies the distribution of species and explains why certain animals live in particular regions, and crucially, modern genetics, which allows us to compare DNA sequences and map out evolutionary relationships with remarkable precision. Therefore, when scientists refer to the theory of evolution, they are referring to a deeply understood and extensively validated explanation for the diversity and history of life on Earth. It has withstood over 160 years of rigorous scientific scrutiny, with new discoveries consistently reinforcing its core tenets. Its explanatory power is immense, making sense of everything from the resistance of bacteria to antibiotics to the intricate relationships within ecosystems and, of course, our own human origins. It is the bedrock upon which modern biology is built, providing a coherent and evidence-based framework for understanding the living world around us and our place within it. The scientific understanding of evolution, particularly human evolution, can sometimes seem to challenge deeply held personal beliefs or traditional narratives about our origins. It is understandable that new information about our ancient past, suggesting connections to other primates and a long, unguided process of natural change, might feel unsettling or even confrontational to some. However, it is important to consider what science truly offers: a powerful method for investigating and understanding the natural world based on observable evidence and testable hypotheses. Science, by its very nature, does not set out to disprove belief systems or to diminish the human spirit. Instead, science provides a framework for asking questions, for seeking explanations, and for building a progressively more accurate picture of how the universe and life within it operate. Its domain is the empirical world, the world we can observe, measure, and test. It does not and cannot definitively answer questions about ultimate purpose, spiritual meaning, or the existence of the supernatural, as these often lie beyond the scope of empirical investigation. As we have noted, science doesn't disprove belief, it helps us better understand the world. This understanding can, for many, coexist with and even enrich their philosophical or spiritual perspectives, offering a more nuanced view of creation or existence. Embracing the scientific evidence for evolution does not necessitate abandoning a sense of wonder, awe, or meaning. In fact, for many, understanding our deep evolutionary journey enhances these very feelings. To comprehend that we are connected to all life on Earth through a shared ancestry, that our bodies and minds are the product of billions of years of transformation and adaptation, can be a profoundly humbling and inspiring realization. It can foster a deeper appreciation for the complexity of nature, the resilience of life, and our own species' remarkable story of survival and innovation. It encourages us to see ourselves not as separate from nature, but as an integral part of its magnificent unfolding. Ultimately, a clearer understanding of common misconceptions about evolution and the reality of the scientific evidence allows us to engage more thoughtfully with this vital area of knowledge. It helps us to move beyond simplistic dismissals or unfounded fears. By recognizing what evolution truly means, how it works, what evidence supports it, and what its implications are, we can better appreciate the incredible journey of life on this planet. Science, in this sense, acts as a powerful lens, sharpening our view of the natural world and our own place within it, empowering us with knowledge and fostering a deeper sense of connection to the universe. To truly comprehend the story of human evolution is to fundamentally reshape our perception of ourselves and our place in the universe. For centuries, many human philosophies and traditions placed our species apart from, or even above, the natural world. We saw ourselves as distinct, perhaps divinely separated masters of a domain created for our use. Yet the patient unraveling of our ancient past by science tells a different, more humbling, and ultimately more wondrous tale. It reveals that we are not separate entities looking in from the outside, but are intrinsically, deeply woven into the very fabric of life on Earth. This understanding does not diminish our uniqueness. Rather, it grounds it in a shared, magnificent history. The biological threads that connect us to the rest of the living world are tangible and undeniable. Consider the very blueprint of life, our DNA. This intricate molecule, carrying the instructions for building and operating a human being, shares vast stretches of its code with every other living organism on this planet. The same fundamental genetic language that spells out a human also spells out a chimpanzee, a mouse, a fish, even a humble yeast cell. Ancient genes honed by billions of years of evolution perform similar vital functions across these incredibly diverse species, a profound testament to our shared ancestry. We are, in a very real sense, kin to all life, branches of the same colossal ancient tree. Our physical forms, the very bodies we inhabit, are a testament to our earthbound evolutionary story. Our senses, sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, evolved to navigate and interpret this terrestrial world. We breathe the air produced by plants, drink the water that cycles through our planet's systems, and consume other organisms for sustenance. These fundamental dependencies highlight that we are not self-contained beings, but are participants in vast ecological networks. Our bones are shaped by the same minerals found in the Earth's crust, and our rhythms are often tied to the cycles of day and night and the changing seasons. We are creatures of this Earth through and through. This deep interconnectedness carries with it profound implications. If we are truly part of nature, not separate from it, then the health of the planet is inextricably linked to our own well-being. The air we pollute, the waters we contaminate, the species we drive to extinction, these are not just abstract environmental concerns. They are wounds inflicted upon the very system that birthed and sustains us. Understanding our evolutionary journey can therefore foster a powerful sense of belonging, a kinship with all living things, and with that kinship comes a solemn responsibility to act as thoughtful stewards of this precious, vibrant world that has shaped us over countless millennia. The narrative of human evolution is not merely a chronicle of gradual anatomical changes, it is, above all, an epic saga of survival. Imagine the immense timescale, millions of years unfolding across shifting landscapes and under changing skies. Our distant ancestors faced relentless challenges. Fluctuating climates transformed lush forests into open savannas, altering food sources and demanding new strategies. Predation was an ever-present threat, a constant pressure shaping vigilance and group behavior. Competition for limited resources, both with other species and among themselves, was a daily reality. Disease, injury, and the sheer unpredictability of the natural world tested the limits of their endurance at every turn. Yet against these formidable odds, our lineage persisted. This remarkable tenacity is a hallmark of our evolutionary story. Consider the adaptability of early hominins. As environments changed, they innovated. They learned to walk upright, freeing their hands to carry food, infants, and eventually tools. The development of even simple stone implements represented a monumental leap, allowing them to process new food sources and defend themselves more effectively. Later, the harnessing of fire provided warmth, protection, and a means to cook food, unlocking crucial nutrients. Each of these milestones was not just a clever invention, but a hard-won victory in the ongoing struggle for existence, a testament to their incredible resilience. This legacy of resilience is not just a historical footnote, it is etched into our very being. It resides in our genes, which carry the biological memory of ancient struggles and successful adaptations, such as the intricate workings of our immune system, constantly battling pathogens. But beyond our biology, this resilience manifests in our innate human capacities, our remarkable ability to learn, to solve complex problems, to cooperate in large social groups, and to transmit knowledge across generations. These are all traits that were profoundly shaped and amplified by the selective pressures of our evolutionary past. These mental and social tools were as crucial for survival as any physical adaptation. Understanding this profound depth of resilience does not diminish human dignity or achievement by reducing us to mere survivors. On the contrary, it magnifies the wonder of our existence. We are the inheritors of an extraordinary capacity to endure, to adapt, and to overcome adversity. Every human alive today carries within them the legacy of countless generations who faced unimaginable challenges and somehow found a way to persevere. This evolutionary perspective reveals not a fragile species, but one forged in the crucible of deep time, imbued with a profound strength derived from the very essence of life's relentless drive to continue. The evolutionary journey is not solely defined by endurance, it is equally a story of profound transformation, a continuous unfolding of potential. Life, in its inherent dynamism, does not just seek to persist, it explores, it innovates, it complexifies. The lineage that led to modern humans is a particularly striking example of this transformative power. Over millions of years, our ancestors underwent a series of remarkable changes, not just in their physical form, but in their cognitive abilities and their ways of interacting with the world. Each transformation built upon the foundations laid by those that came before, opening up entirely new avenues for development and shaping the unique creatures we are today. Consider the pivotal shifts that mark our evolutionary path. The transition to habitual bipedalism, as we have seen, was more than just a new way of moving. It freed the hands, paving the way for sophisticated tool use and manipulation. This, in turn, likely created new selective pressures for increased manual dexterity and the cognitive capacities to envision and create tools. The gradual but significant expansion of the brain, particularly the neocortex, provided the neurological hardware for enhanced memory, abstract thought, complex problem-solving, and ultimately the development of language. This last transformation was perhaps the most momentous, revolutionizing communication, social learning, and the very nature of human consciousness. These biological transformations, in turn, set the stage for an entirely new kind of evolution, cultural evolution. As our ancestors developed more complex brains and the capacity for symbolic language, they began to accumulate and transmit knowledge, skills, and beliefs across generations. This was not through the slow process of genetic inheritance, but through teaching, learning, and social sharing, the development of increasingly sophisticated tools, the creation of art, the formation of elaborate social structures, and the emergence of diverse belief systems are all manifestations of this powerful cultural dynamic. This ability for cumulative cultural evolution allowed humans to adapt and innovate at a pace far exceeding that of biological change alone. Therefore, when we contemplate the meaning of our evolution, we see a story that is far from static. It is a narrative of continuous becoming, of latent potentials being realized and new horizons opening up. We are not the final, perfected endpoint of this process, but active participants in an ongoing story of transformation. Our capacity for learning, for innovation, and for conscious choice means that our future trajectory is not rigidly predetermined by our genes. Understanding this transformative journey from our ancient past inspires us to consider the potential that still lies within us and the kinds of transformations we might yet achieve, guided by our wisdom and our values. So, how then does this sweeping evolutionary narrative, with its tales of ancient ancestors, relentless survival, and profound transformation, inform our deeply human search for meaning? For some, the idea that humans are a product of natural, unguided processes might seem to strip away a sense of special purpose or divine intention. If we are but one branch on the vast tree of life, subject to the same natural laws as all other creatures, does this diminish our significance, or conversely, can this understanding provide a new, perhaps even more profound foundation upon which to build our sense of meaning and purpose in the cosmos? The evolutionary perspective, far from diminishing humanity, can actually enrich our understanding of our place in the universe. It reveals us not as isolated beings, but as integral parts of an immense and ancient story, a story of life's unfolding on this planet over billions of years. Our existence, when viewed through this lens, becomes even more remarkable, the improbable outcome of countless contingent events, a lineage that persisted and flourished against incredible odds. There is a deep resonant meaning to be found in this interconnectedness, in belonging to this grand, ongoing biological drama. Our significance is not lessened by being part of nature, it is magnified by our deep roots within it. As the narrator of our larger story might say, we're the result of millions of years of survival, adaptation, and transformation. This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the essence of our evolutionary journey. Our meaning can be found not in some externally imposed decree, but in the very fabric of this journey. It is present in our inherited resilience, in our capacity for empathy and cooperation honed through social living, in our insatiable curiosity that drives us to explore and understand, and in our creative impulse that seeks to express beauty and meaning. These are not accidental byproducts, they are the rich fruits of our long evolutionary heritage. Ultimately, understanding our evolution provides a powerful context for how we live our lives today. It instills a sense of awe for the intricate processes that shaped us, and a deep appreciation for the preciousness and fragility of life. It highlights our shared humanity, rooted in a common ancestry, and our shared responsibility as the current stewards of this planet's future. The meaning of our evolution is not a fixed answer handed down from the past, but an ongoing dialogue we have with our history, our present, and the potential that lies before us. It calls us to live thoughtfully, compassionately, and creatively, honoring the incredible journey that has brought us to this moment. We began this exploration with a question that has intrigued and often challenged humanity for generations. It is a question that sits at the very heart of our identity. Did humans really evolve from primates? After journeying through the vast corridors of geological time, examining the silent testimony of ancient bones and deciphering the intricate language of our own DNA, we arrive at an answer. The scientific evidence, gathered painstakingly by generations of researchers from diverse fields, speaks with a clear and consistent voice. The answer, based on this wealth of data, is a resounding yes. Our lineage is indeed deeply rooted within the primate family tree. This affirmation, however, is not an endpoint. It is not a full stop that concludes our story. Rather, it is a gateway, an opening to a far deeper and more nuanced understanding of who we are. To know that we share an ancestry with the monkeys and apes that inhabit our world today is to recognize our profound connection to the intricate web of life on this planet. It dismantles any illusion of complete separation, placing us firmly within the grand, unfolding narrative of nature. This understanding invites us to look at our fellow creatures, and indeed ourselves, with a renewed sense of wonder and kinship, appreciating the shared biological heritage that binds us all. It is vital, as we have emphasized throughout this journey, to remember the true nature of this connection. We did not descend from the chimpanzees, gorillas, or monkeys that we observe in modern times. Instead, we share common ancestors with them, ancient primate populations that lived millions of years in the past. These ancestors were unique creatures, neither modern ape nor modern human. From these ancestral roots, different evolutionary paths diverged. One of these paths, through countless generations of change and adaptation, eventually led to Homo sapiens. The other paths led to the diverse array of primate species that are our contemporaries today. Our journey has unveiled the compelling evidence that supports this conclusion. We have touched the ancient past through the fossilized remains of Australopithecus, Homo habilis, and Homo erectus. We have seen how our genetic code mirrors that of chimpanzees with astonishing fidelity. We have recognized the echoes of our primate ancestry in our own anatomy, from our grasping hands to our forward-facing eyes. And we have observed how the behavioral traits of other primates can shed light on the foundations of our own complex minds. This tapestry of evidence, woven from many independent strands, creates a robust and coherent picture of our evolutionary origins. As we stand at the culmination of this exploration, it's really worth pausing to reflect upon the sheer immensity of the journey we have traced. The story of human evolution is not one that unfolded over mere centuries or even millennia. Instead, it is a narrative etched across millions, indeed hundreds of millions of years of Earth's history. It's a chronicle that stretches back into the deep past to a time when our planet was vastly different, inhabited by creatures almost unrecognizable to our modern eyes. To contemplate this vast expanse of time is to gain a profound perspective on the gradual, painstaking processes that have shaped us. Throughout this immense temporal landscape, our ancestors underwent a series of truly remarkable transformations. We witnessed the pivotal shift to bipedalism, freeing the hands and setting our lineage on a new course. We saw the dawn of ingenuity with the first stone tools, marking the beginning of our species' unique technological trajectory. The gradual expansion of the brain, a hallmark of hominin evolution, unlocked new cognitive capacities, enabling more complex social interactions, problem-solving, and eventually the emergence of symbolic thought. And with the development of language and culture, our ancestors entered a new realm of adaptation, one where learning and shared knowledge began to drive our evolution at an unprecedented pace. This long and winding path really reinforces a fundamental truth. We are inextricably part of nature, shaped by the very same evolutionary forces that have sculpted all life on Earth. Natural selection, genetic variation, adaptation to changing environments, these are the universal mechanisms that have guided our development. We are not exempt from these biological realities. We are a product of them. This understanding can foster a deep sense of humility and belonging. It reminds us that our sophisticated minds and complex societies are built upon an ancient biological foundation, a legacy inherited from countless generations of life striving, adapting, and persisting on this remarkable planet. Moreover, this journey through deep time illuminates the extraordinary resilience and adaptability inherent in our lineage. Our ancestors faced unimaginable challenges, dramatic climate shifts, the constant threat of predators, the scarcity of resources, and competition with other species. Yet, through it all, they endured, they innovated, they found new ways to survive and to thrive. This resilience is not just a footnote in our history, it is a core part of our inheritance. It speaks to a profound capacity for learning, for cooperation, and for overcoming adversity, qualities that remain vital for our species today as we navigate the complexities of the modern world. Our exploration has largely focused on looking back, on unraveling the intricate story of how we came to be, but the scientific affirmation of our primate origins, science says, yes, is only the beginning of a deeper question. Who are we becoming? Evolution is not a process confined to the distant past, it is an ongoing reality. While significant biological changes in humans now occur on much longer timescales, our cultural and technological evolution is proceeding at a breathtaking, almost dizzying pace. This rapid development is reshaping our planet, our societies, and even our understanding of what it means to be human. The very traits that define our uniqueness, our complex language, our profound self-awareness, our capacity for abstract thought, and our unparalleled technological prowess, now grant us an unprecedented influence over the future of life on Earth. We have harnessed the atom, decoded the genome, and created global networks of information. We build cities that scrape the sky and craft machines that think alongside us. This extraordinary power, born from millions of years of evolutionary refinement, brings with it an equally extraordinary responsibility. The choices we make today, as individuals and as a global community, will profoundly shape the world for generations to come, influencing not only our own destiny, but that of countless other species. The path ahead is not without its formidable challenges. Climate change, biodiversity loss, resource depletion, global pandemics, and the ethical dilemmas posed by emerging technologies are just some of the complex issues that demand our collective wisdom and concerted action. Our evolved capacities for cooperation, problem-solving, and foresight will be tested as never before. Yet our evolutionary journey also reminds us of our species' inherent adaptability and resilience. We have faced existential threats in the past and have found ways to innovate and endure. The question now is whether we can harness these capacities wisely and compassionately. Ultimately, the future of humanity is not a predetermined script waiting to be enacted. It is an unwritten chapter, and we are its authors. Understanding our evolutionary past provides us with a crucial context, illuminating the foundations upon which we stand. But the direction we take, the values we uphold, and the kind of world we strive to create are matters of conscious choice. The journey from our primate ancestors to our current state has been one of incredible transformation. The journey forward invites us to consider what further transformations are possible and what kind of ancestors we wish to be for those who will follow us. As we draw this particular exploration towards its close, it's natural to reflect upon how the scientific narrative of human origins resonates with our own individual perspectives. The question of where we come from is deeply personal, touching upon our most fundamental beliefs about life, meaning, and our place in the cosmos. Science offers a powerful and evidence-based account of our biological journey, a story of common descent and gradual transformation. Yet this scientific understanding is one thread in a much larger tapestry of human thought, a tapestry woven with diverse cultural narratives, philosophical inquiries, and spiritual traditions. This brings us to a crucial question posed in our brief: can science and belief walk hand in hand? For many people around the world, the answer is a clear yes. They find no inherent conflict between a scientific understanding of evolution and their religious or spiritual faith. Some view the evolutionary process as the very method through which a divine creator brought forth the diversity of life, including humankind. Others see science and faith as addressing different complementary questions, science explaining the how of the natural world and faith exploring the why of existence and the realm of ultimate meaning and purpose. This dialogue can be rich and mutually illuminating. At the heart of both scientific endeavor and profound spiritual seeking lies a shared human attribute, an insatiable curiosity. It's this innate desire to understand, to explore, to question, and to seek answers that has propelled our species forward. Whether we are peering through a microscope at the intricate dance of cells, gazing through a telescope at distant galaxies, or contemplating the ancient wisdom of sacred texts, we are driven by this fundamental urge to make sense of our world and our experience within it. Encouraging this curiosity, fostering open-minded inquiry, and engaging in respectful dialogue are essential as we navigate these profound questions about our origins and our future. Science, with its rigorous methods of observation, experimentation, and peer review, provides an invaluable tool for understanding the physical mechanisms of the universe. It helps us to dispel misconceptions and to build an increasingly accurate picture of natural processes. However, science does not claim to have all the answers, particularly when it comes to questions of ethics, values, or the ultimate meaning of life. These are realms where philosophy, spirituality, and personal reflection play crucial roles. A truly holistic understanding of the human condition often emerges from the thoughtful interplay of these different ways of knowing, each contributing its unique insights to our collective quest for wisdom. So we return, in a sense, to where we began, but with a richer understanding and perhaps even more profound questions. The journey to comprehend human origins is not a destination reached, but a continuous voyage of discovery. Each fossil unearthed, each genome sequenced, each new insight into the workings of the mind adds another layer to our understanding, yet also reveals new mysteries to explore. The story of humanity is a story still being written, both in the ongoing processes of evolution and in our ceaseless quest to understand ourselves and our place in the vastness of existence. This exploration, this desire to know, is a fundamental part of what makes us human. We are a species that looks to the stars and wonders about the universe. We delve into the past and seek to understand our roots. We observe the world around us and strive to uncover its hidden mechanisms. This innate drive for knowledge and meaning has been a constant companion throughout our evolutionary journey, fueling our innovations, shaping our cultures, and inspiring our greatest achievements. There will always be more to learn, more to discover, more to marvel at in the intricate tapestry of life, and now we invite you to become part of this ongoing conversation. The questions we have explored are not just for scientists or philosophers, they are for everyone. We encourage you to share your own perspectives. What do you believe about human origins? Your thoughts, shaped by your own experiences, learning and beliefs, are a valuable contribution to this collective human inquiry. Furthermore, consider the relationship between different ways of knowing. Can science and belief walk hand in hand? Reflecting on these questions helps us all to deepen our understanding and appreciate the diverse ways in which humanity seeks truth and meaning. Our exploration of this particular mystery may be concluding, but the grand adventure of understanding life continues. We hope this journey has sparked your curiosity and provided new insights into the incredible story of human evolution. The world is full of wonders, and the quest to unravel its secrets is an epic one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic explorations of life's greatest mysteries. Join us as we continue to explore the marvels of our planet and the universe beyond, always seeking to learn more about the incredible story of life and our own unique place